Welcome. Thanks for joining us. If you are enjoying this content, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps joy travel. Have you ever seen a 2-year-old sort of stamp with joy just for like existence? Okay, so that's what I feel like doing right now. I'm going to try to restrain my happy inner 2-year-old, but inwardly I'm like stomping with joy, just so you know. So we are meditating today on the subject, be perfect. So that's it. That's the only invitation. Just that. Just please be perfect. And these are words, these are an invitation that come from a master teacher. They come from the Sermon on the Mount. And it is a line that is familiar to you. I invite you to hear it as if you are hearing it for the first time. So I invite you to open and allow this truth to enter in and fill you with freshness, with awareness, with vitality. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father, which is in heaven, is perfect. So that's the only invitation, is just be perfect. Just love the way the divine loves. And so these are invitations and I'll even say admonitions that Jesus offers elsewhere. So he says to his students, he says to everyone who studies his teaching, you are my students insofar as you love one another. If you are my students, you know you are my student insofar as you love one another. And here he says that includes not just the ones that you like humanly, not just the ones who seem near to you and close to you and easy to love. All y'all. You get to love all of the humans. You get to love everyone. And so I'm just going to pause and let us check in and say, how have I been doing with the loving all y'all aspect of that? And you will notice immediately it's only possible to love everyone if you're able to love every aspect of yourself. So this is a teaching that very quickly acquaints us with self-judgment, if any is still present. And so we're inviting ourselves to be open-hearted and to be compassionate and also have a sense of humor and courage, willing to look at ourselves and just say, where are the aspects of myself that I'm finding hard to love? Where are the aspects of myself where I am practicing judgment and condemnation, and I am holding that part of myself apart from the divine? Because what happens here, and I'm starting to talk about the laws of energy that are named and implicit in this teaching, what happens is if we would try to hold someone else outside the kingdom of heaven, we can't be there unless we're also holding ourselves outside the kingdom of heaven. And so the divine is saying, if you want to be in the presence of the Lord, you get to welcome everyone to the presence of the Lord, recognizing that they're all already there. And so for ourselves, what aspect of myself have I been holding separate from God? What aspect of myself have I been saying, nope, God can't love that. That's too whatever it is, fill in the blank. So we're opening our heart to that aspect of ourselves. We're reaching out hands of light. We are inviting ourselves to embrace that aspect of ourselves, to make friends, to make peace with that aspect of ourselves, and recognize that as soon as we do, what happens is where we have been divided, where we have experienced conflict, where we have experienced trauma, that same energy is liberated and it becomes healing. It becomes wisdom. It's the same energy. It's just we convert it, we transform it, we direct it towards the light. So you know this. I'm just cheerfully reminding and acknowledging it doesn't usually happen in a single moment. This is usually a moment-by-moment practice, a day-by-day practice. We gain in steadiness, we gain in strength, we gain in courage as we do this. And so other teachings that remind us of this same truth from the Bhagavad Gita. One who works for me, has me as their supreme goal, is devoted to me, is free from attachment, and bears no enmity toward any being in the world of creation, alone becomes one with me. And so the divine in the Bhagavad Gita is saying the same thing. If you want to be one with divine love, you will practice karma yoga. That's the first thing that's said right there. If you want to move forward in divine love, you will practice karma yoga. And not just kind of like on a one-off basis, but like as a regular, steady part of your practice. One step forward, meditation. Next step forward, karma yoga. Day by day, very steadily and faithfully. If you want spiritual unfoldment, and I'm just going to pause for a moment and connect this. Last week, we were talking about supreme love. And so we shared a sutra, which I'm not going to repeat right now, but it's this ecstatic peroration of praise for love of God and all the different ways in which that love of God can express itself. Go back and study that teaching. Karma yoga is how you reach supreme love, according to that teaching. And so we are invited to live this service of the divine in a very steady, regular, ongoing, joyful, willing practice. If we want spiritual transformation, if we want the winds of divine love at our back, meditation and karma yoga, just day by day, step by step. And it dramatically propels us forward into this recognition, into this energy of the kingdom of heaven. So I'm going to share a couple of stories with you. And one of them, I was smiling to myself. It comes from Howard Thurman. Howard Thurman was an amazing educator, an amazing teacher, amazing preacher, mentor to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And he offers a teaching which I was smiling to myself and I was saying, that is some strong medicine. So I'm about to share some strong medicine with you, thanks to Howard Thurman. What he says is this: the true test of life in you is how much pain and frustration you can bear and not lose contact with the joy of living. Strong medicine. And so I'm just going to pause for a second and then give us some different entry points into meditating on this. For one, he's naming a human reality. And so if I were to playfully turn this around, I would say, raise your hand, please, if you've never experienced pain. There's not a single hand of any human on the planet that could go up. And if I said, raise your hand if you've never experienced frustration, there's no hands that go up. And so he's naming a universal reality that is experienced by the individual. So he's saying every individual human person on the planet is going, as part of life, to experience pain and experience frustration. And then the test of life in you is how you respond. So for each of us, you can turn his observation into a question. Am I allowing my personal pain and frustration to disconnect me from the joy of living? Because what he's saying is the joy of living is always present. The joy of living is universal. And quickly notice what happens. In order to connect with the joy of living, despite personal pain and frustration, we must expand beyond our limited individual human container. We have to. And so it puts us back into community. It puts us back into realizing, I'm experiencing pain and frustration. That doesn't cut me off from all the other human sisters and brothers on the planet. That means I'm right there with them. It doesn't isolate me. It connects me. And it gives me fuel so that I can recognize, and this is back to recognizing that the same energy that you experience as trauma can heal and be transformed into liberation and into joy. That same energy of pain and frustration can heal, and it can be transformed into connection. It can be transformed into community. It can help us connect with the energy of wholeness that is present for ourselves and for all, despite pain and despite frustration. And so again, I'm going to connect this with the teaching. If you love them which love you, what reward have you? Be ye therefore perfect, even as the divine, which is in heaven, is perfect. So Howard Thurman says, if we allow another human to say something to us, or to do something to us, that is guaranteed to make us lose our cool, that is guaranteed to upset us and frustrate us and make us angry, we are giving that person victory over ourselves. And that's another corollary of this teaching that Jesus is sharing right here. And so I was reflecting on that, and I was, again, sort of smiling to myself. And the metaphor that came to me, which is also reality and consciousness, each of us has a kingdom of peace within ourselves. And so just ask yourself a question. Do I want to give the keys to my kingdom of peace to Mr. Annoying Cranky Pants? To Ms. Annoying Cranky Pants? Whoever it is that has that ability to quirk their eyebrow or make that noise with their mouth or say that word or do that thing and make us lose our cool. Do I want to give that person the keys to my kingdom of peace? Or would I rather not enjoy the keys to my own kingdom of peace? And he is saying this is something every human can learn to do. And when we learn to do this, we gain power over ourselves. And then we are able to live in freedom. Then we are able to transform personal pain and personal frustration into energy that liberates not just ourselves, but the country. And so his teachings helped liberate this country. Country's not done liberating itself. And his teachings changed the face of the country. And we're here for the next step. The horizon is always expanding. We're here for the next step. Meditation, karma yoga, holding on to the keys of the kingdom of peace. And remembering whatever it is that life brings us. And I have a contemporary story from a young person. So this is not just for amazing geniuses like Howard Thurman. He is an amazing genius. This is a 10-year-old girl. I'm about to tell you a story. Her mom got seriously ill when this young girl was 10. And the girl had the quote-unquote opportunity to visit her mom in the hospital starting at age 10 for the little girl. So this was a part of the little girl's life for the next several years. And then the girl's mom passed away. And so I'm honoring and acknowledging the absolute pain and loss and devastation and frustration that that entails. And every one of us has experienced something that is analogous. So this little girl decided to take that pain and to turn it into something positive. And so she put out an announcement at her school, and she said, anyone, all students who are interested in writing letters to kids who are experiencing serious illness, show up for this meeting after classes. 100 high school kids showed up. The first day, 100 high school kids showed up. And they started writing letters, just letters establishing caring, letters establishing connection, letters connecting with the perfection that is present in all times and all places, letters connecting with the kingdom of peace, no matter what it is that we are encountering personally, connecting with the joy of living, no matter what it is that we are encountering personally. All of these young people kept gathering, and it kept growing. They now have written 60,000 letters. And so from that one little girl's broken heart, I'm not taking away the pain of the broken heart. She allowed that to connect her to life itself. She allowed that to connect her with the joy of living in a way that created countless blessings, countless energy of healing that has reached out and touched so many lives. And so that's just a small example. So for every one of us, yes, the pain is there. Yes, the frustration is there. Deeper than that is the joy of living. Yes, the hatred is there. There's not a single human on the planet who has not been treated with contempt. I am so sorry. And we triumph by not giving the one who treated us with contempt the keys to our kingdom of peace. And we triumph by extending honor and respect and kindness and caring and wisdom to every human on the planet, including those who feel most outcast, including those who feel most cut off. And we triumph every time we recognize none of us is isolated from anyone else. None of us is cut off. It is so vitally important to gather in community, to connect with the light in ourselves, to connect with the light in one another, to connect with the embodied presence of the kingdom of God right here. Each of you are living that embodied presence. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And as you connect with that embodied presence of the kingdom of peace, the being perfect that you always are, what happens is we gain in strength, we gain in kindness, we gain in steadiness, we gain in the ability to create in the realm of time and space wholeness, joy, courage, welcome, kindness, music, wholehearted laughter, that touching and tasting and feeling, that palpable, tangible, embodied river of the joy of life. It runs up and down the length of our spine. It is what makes it possible for us to be of service in karma yoga. It is what makes it possible to reach out and to feel. You can feel the way in which that connectedness, that wholeness, that beauty, that tranquility is so palpable right here, right now. And as you study yourself in that, it amplifies, it strengthens, and it potentially becomes available to more and more people who want to walk in the kingdom of peace, holding on to the keys to the kingdom, enjoying the divine perfection and the divine protection that is right here, that is right now. Thank God, and God bless us all.